Live from WSLS, this is 10 News at 6, working for you.
Urgent flooding today as the National Guard rescues people from the Ramada Inn in Roanoke.
It's just way beyond comprehension.
The rain has turned city roads into rivers, caused mudslides throughout the region, and pushed feet of rushing water over the dam at Carvin's Cove for the first time in decades.
So we're dealing with something very different.
We're still a few hours away from the Roanoke and New Rivers cresting, and we're keeping a close eye on those further south as we go into tomorrow.
Tonight, we have live team coverage across the region following the damage after nearly a week of rain. And good evening. Relentless rain reaches day 4 now, and it now leads to significant flooding.
Both the Roanoke and New Rivers are now expected to reach major flood levels, and we've seen major damage from both.
Chief Meteorologist Jeff Hanowich begins our coverage tonight. So, Jeff, how long before the rivers crest, and how bad will it be?
So one has crested. The New River at Galax has crested. The rest of these rivers are expected to crest anywhere between tonight and Saturday morning. I will show you the rainfall totals. The numbers are just staggering. Well over 9 inches already in Martinsville, over 8 inches in Roanoke, approaching 5.5 inches in Danville, over 5 inches in Blacksburg, and you're approaching 4.5 inches of rain out across Danville. The radar showing that the onshore flow of rain continues to move north-northwest from the Carolinas here into the Commonwealth. Some of the heaviest rain near Amherst, Nelson, and Appomattox counties. Also some bouts of heavy rain in Henry, Pennsylvania, and Franklin counties. You'll see the rain still in North Carolina. All of this rain you see here is moving to the north and will likely impact you folks in the New River Valley and also south side areas as we head throughout the course of the evening. I will tell you the 2 rivers that are of most concern at this very minute: the New River at Radford, current level 20.3 feet. The major flood stage is 20 feet, expected to crest at 21 feet. And also the Roanoke River at Roanoke. Right now, current level 15.9 feet, expected to crest anywhere between 16 and 16.4 feet, either this evening or a little bit beyond midnight tonight. Lindsay, John, back to you.
Our Sky 10 drone was able to get a bird's eye view of some of the highest flooding along the Roanoke River. This is in the Wasena area, and just down the road from this is where we find 10 News reporter Coulter Anstad. He's live at the Ramada Inn on Franklin Road. So, Coulter, 5 o'clock, the National Guard was called in to evacuate people there. Is everyone out okay, and are they safe?
Well, everyone is getting out okay, and they are safe right now. You mentioned the National Guard. I'll step out of the way and show you. That's happening right now here behind me. This has been going on for about 2 hours now. The National Guard is using these trucks to take people from the backside of the hotel out here to the front and load them onto city buses to be taken to other hotels here in the city. This is not the only evacuation, though, that has been happening here in the city. Overnight, 13 homes near Spring Lake were evacuated because the city was concerned the Spring Lake Dam could fail. Since then, according to the city, the dam has been holding, so there is no threat that the dam could break at this point. As the waters continue to rise throughout the city, 60 structures in the southern part of the city were also evacuated out of a precaution. City officials say the evacuations, though, are not common.
The evacuations that we've done have been done out of abundance of caution. However, we've also had water touching some of the doorsteps of these homes where we've made these evacuations. So, like I said, we're monitoring very closely. We are in close contact with the National Weather Service to make sure we do things right and keep everybody safe.
Several of the people being housed here at the hotel were being housed here by local nonprofits. Those nonprofits are taking care of the housing for those organizations. The Red Cross is stepping in to help anyone else. Live in Roanoke, Coulter Anstad, 10 News, working for you.
All right, thank you, Coulter. 10 News reporter Taj Simmons is further down the river by Roanoke Memorial Hospital, and you're looking at video from our Sky 10 drone of that area. So, Taj, how is this affecting the hospital?
It's certainly a challenging situation for them. The floodwater has made a little bit of a Lake Carilion outside the hospital's entrance, and the roads around us are all blockaded. Now, the flooding is still fervent, as you can see by this. The water is still rushing through the gates here, but despite all of this, the hospital is still carrying on as normal. The Roanoke River last measured in at a shade under 16 feet high here, which is the benchmark for a major flood. Despite the raging river, Carilion spokesperson tells me it has stayed out of the hospital so far, which is very good to hear. They have placed sandbags near the entrance just in case the flooding becomes more intense. While the hospital itself is weathering the storm, everything around it is covered in floodwater. Now, what you're looking at right now is not actually the river itself. That's usually a park. That's the river runoff. The river itself is behind me right here. Now, this will probably not get much higher than this. As I said, it's about 15.9 today. It's expected to crest at a bit over 16 a little bit later on today, and then it's going to start going down to after that. But as you can see by the power of this is not something to get close to if you have no reason to. For now, reporting live in Roanoke, Taj Simmons, 10 News, working for you.
All right, thank you, Taj. Meanwhile, over in Giles County, this is what it looks like. This is by Mountain Lake and Doe Creek Road. You see the gully water right there, and what was once a functioning street now looks more like a river. This is a little bit better shot of it. 10 News reporter Lindsay Kennett has been working for you to track the flooding in the New River Valley throughout the day today. She is live now in Radford at Bissett Park, and Lindsay, the park is pretty much underwater, isn't it?
John, it is completely underwater. Even though the rain has let up a little bit today, the floodwaters have steadily risen. Behind me, these backyards, earlier today, you could see grass. Now it is submerged. And over to my left, you can't even see the street anymore that leads to the park. I also want to give you a look back at those signs. We showed you that earlier, that massive tree branch that's stuck on some road signs. Now that sign that says Radford Clothing Store is partially submerged, and that's just in the past hour. The New River is set to reach its peak at a major flood stage around 21 feet high by tonight or early tomorrow, and right now it's already over 20. So the city blocked off the road on both ends of the park, and down the street the Radford Animal Shelter had to close because of the flooding. There's also been flooding and downed trees reported in Giles and in Blacksburg. Brooksfield Road, was closed because of the high water, but we did see some drivers disobeying the signs and driving through it. I talked with one man who's lived near Bissett Park for years. He says he's actually seen the conditions worse, but today is pretty bad.
I saw him put out the cones to block the road, and I knew the river was going to start flooding. And I came down here this morning and was walking up and down the street, and it wasn't too bad. And then you just watch it slowly come across the road, and it is where it is now. We don't need this much rain. We've had enough. It can stop anytime.
The New River isn't expected to fall back down below flood levels until late tomorrow night or even Saturday morning. And then with all the mud and debris left behind, that neighbor says that it could be a while before the city can get things cleaned up here. Reporting live in Radford, I'm Lindsay Kennett, 10 News working for you.
Over in Southside, the rising Dan River is also causing issues. This is along Riverside Drive in Henry County. Our team of meteorologists are on the road to bring you road conditions from across our region. Meteorologist Delaney Warden joins us now live in Danville. So, Delaney, what are you seeing out there?
You know, we've seen a wide variety just within the past 2 hours that we've been here. We've seen anything just from a light mist to at times heavier rain, and that's going to continue as we go throughout the next several hours and even into tomorrow as well. I do want to give you a live look from the Dan River here in Danville. Of course, yesterday it wasn't even at action stage, which of course means at least 18 feet. However, it is now currently over 22 feet. In fact, approaching 23, expected to reach about 28.5 feet by tomorrow morning in this region. Of course, we're watching this closely. We're going to use your favorite catchy phrase, turn around, don't drown. We've been seeing a lot of cars trying to drive through flooded roads. Make sure you're being careful out there. If you don't have to be driving around this evening, definitely take it slow, stay indoors, because this flooding is going to continue to increase even as we head over the next few hours. But for now, reporting live in Danville, I'm meteorologist Delaney Warden, 10 News working for you.
Thanks, Delaney. Stay up to date with whatever storms come our way. Download the 10 News and weather apps.
We have personalized forecasts, live radar, and alerts when there's inconvenient weather near you.
Hey, I'm Magdala Lusant here at Smith Mountain Lake. In about 7 minutes, I'm going to tell you why AEP has its eyes on the lake. And if you plan on being on the lake this weekend, there's some things you might need to have on your boat if you want to stay out of trouble.
Breaking news tonight out of Southside. Her husband and 3 others have been arrested for the murder of a Henry County woman. Police have arrested David Morse for first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Tana Fitzgerald, Colin Russell, and Casey Rogers have also been charged with first-degree murder. As we've reported, Pamela Morse was found shot and killed in her home last week. This is a developing story. We are working for you to get more details. Get the latest information on air and online at WSLS.com.
Today, Virginia sees its highest number of confirmed coronavirus cases ever, more than 1,200 in just one day, but only 13 of those are in our viewing area. These are the top 5 local regions with the highest confirmed cases, and you can find the full breakdown on our website. Just log on to WSLS.com.
And you're looking at a live picture from our Roanoke-Blacksburg Airport sky cam. Not a whole lot of visibility, lots of clouds, and it's awfully wet in Roanoke. We have seen anywhere between 7 and 10.5 inches of rain across the Roanoke Valley. I will let you know when we will see the return of sunshine and when highs will hit the 80s again coming up in your forecast.
All right, if you own property at Smith Mountain Lake, you're going to want to keep a close eye on your dock and your boats.
Heading into Memorial Day weekend, the lake is expected to exceed full pond by 3 feet tomorrow morning. 10 News reporter Magdala Lusant has been working for you to monitor conditions. Magdala, what are you seeing out there?
Well, John and Lindsay, we've received multiple reports from viewers about boats floating away from docks today. And when I spoke with Conservation Police, they tell me they've received multiple phone calls too. AEP wants boat riders to be vigilant this holiday weekend as they'll be monitoring lake levels. The Smith Mountain Reservoir is expected to reach 798 feet, full pond Friday morning.
We just want people to be aware of flooding now, as well as floating debris here in the next couple of days.
Conservation Police don't believe today's high water levels will be an issue over the weekend. Instead, they'll be focused on anything reckless, and that includes operating a boat over the influence of alcohol. Officers will be checking boats for fire extinguishers, registrations, as well as working headlights.
Just make sure that they create a little checklist, like a boat safety checklist. Take 5 minutes before they go out. That ensures that they have everything that they need so they don't have to worry about it once they're actually out there.
AEP says it'll be posting its information on Facebook to keep property owners in the loop. Live in Smith Mountain Lake on the Franklin County side, I'm Magdala Lusant, 10 News, working for you.
Your local weather authority, always watching and tracking for you from the JES Weather Center.
You are looking at a live picture from Carvin's Cove in Roanoke County as the water just continues to flow over the dam. This is purely precautionary, but this is as high as it's been since the flood of '85, as Shane has been telling us throughout the course of our newscast. Just it almost looks like Niagara Falls. And from his live shots that you could see earlier this evening, the mist coming off of that dam is just incredible. It's been almost like made of the mist type conditions out across that area of Carvin's Cove. I want to show you this because this has actually just been updated. The current level now of the New River at Radford is 20.8 feet. It's forecast now to crest at 22.5 feet here as we head late tonight. So again, for the New River at Radford, current level 20.8 feet. Major flood stage is 20 feet. Now expected to crest at 22.5 feet. So we've got major flooding forecast along the Roanoke River at Roanoke, for the New River at Radford, moderate flooding forecast for the Dan River at Danville, also for the Dan River at South Boston. Those are expected to crest anywhere between Friday morning and Saturday morning. Other river levels are keeping a close eye on the New River at Galax, which has crested. Also keeping an eye on the New River at Glenlyn, where moderate flooding is going on right now, expected to crest Friday morning. Also keeping an eye on the James River at Buchanan, Roanoke River at Alta Vista, Brookneal, and also in Randolph. You'll notice all this rain moving to the north-northwest at a clip of around 30 miles per hour. We do have some heavier downpours being reported out across parts of Pennsylvania and Henry counties, areas in and around Ridgeway seeing some pretty heavy rain. Martinsville Speedway starting to pick up on some light to moderate rain. Your rain in Martinsville will gather momentum and intensity over the next 30 minutes or so. I want to show you this graphic because when you look at how much rain we got in Roanoke from Florence and Michael, together it adds up to 6.11 inches. Already in Roanoke, we've seen well over 8 inches of rain, so this week's rain exceeds both of those storms combined. that impacted the Roanoke Valley. Now, there were other areas that got impacted more from Michael and Florence. I want to make that caveat. But in Roanoke, we have seen more rain from just this one storm system than what we saw from those two tropical systems combined. Future trackers showing that we're going to continue to have rain off and on throughout the course of the evening, even into the overnight. But look at tomorrow morning. We are going to get a break from the rain for a little while, maybe even some breaks of sunshine. But scattered showers and thunderstorms will redevelop for us here as we head late tomorrow afternoon into the evening, with the rain likely tapering off by midnight Friday night. Fog is also around. It is a very foggy go of it from Hot Springs south towards Martinsville, right along that 220 corridor. Just a lot of dense fog. Visibility is not great towards other parts of South Side and into the areas in and around Lynchburg as well. Pollen levels today very low. Pollen levels tomorrow very low. Then when we start to see more sunshine and dry things out a bit by the holiday weekend, those pollen levels will increase. Temperatures stand for us right now, 50s and lower 60s. The warm spots being Danville and South Boston, both at 62. Certainly some flooding concerns as we head into the overnight tonight, with overnight lows mainly in the 50s. For the day tomorrow, going to have maybe a few showers early, then scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop later on. We are going to be warmer with high temperatures mainly in the 70s. We're in the lower 80s on Saturday, mid to upper 70s Sunday and Monday, around 80 Tuesday through Thursday. Just a few mountain thunder showers Saturday and Sunday. For the most part, we're dry on Monday, with perhaps a better chance for some scattered thunder showers once again by Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
Coming up tonight on 10 News at 7, unemployment claims take a frightening dip in the U.S. Why experts believe a vast number of people may not get their jobs back. That and more coming up tonight at 7.
Ever wonder what the cost would be if we lost the college football season? And the latest, greatest NASCAR feud, of course it involves Rowdy. Sports is next. The numbers are staggering. If the college football season is scuttled, the potential loss estimated at $4 billion. Patrick Risch, the director of the sports business program at Washington University in St. Louis, has completed a study which concludes if the season was canceled entirely, the 65 schools that make up the Power 5 conferences, Big 10, Pac-12, Big 12, SEC, and ACC, would lose more than $4 billion, averaging out to $62 million in losses for each school. A number of major universities have already been forced to cut programs ranging from baseball to lacrosse to tennis. But on a positive note, the NCAA voted yesterday to allow voluntary workouts for football and other sports starting June 1st. Another NASCAR race, another win for the Commonwealth kid Denny Hamlin at Darlington last night, and another driver leaving angry at the black hat of this generation, at least, Mr. Kyle Busch. Late race action last night. Kyle Busch, running third, attempts to swing back in line behind Chase Elliott in the 9, who was obviously one of the leaders. Turned out to be the last green flag lap of the race as Rowdy wrecked Chase. Caution comes out. Chase promptly gave Kyle the "you are number one" salute on the way by. The rains came again, giving Hamlin the win. Kyle finishes second. And the race, well, Alan Gustafson confronted Kyle, and the two had a heated exchange. But Kyle maintained the wreck wasn't intentional.
Just made a mistake and misjudged the gap and sent him into the wall, and that was entirely unintentional. But, yeah, I mean, I'll definitely reach out to him and, you know, tell him I'm sorry, tell him I hate it that it happened and all I can do, but that doesn't change the outcome of the night.
You know, Kyle was on the bottom and he had a hole big, you know, between myself and Chase, and I'm sure he had one eye in the mirror and glanced forward, and it looked to me like he just completely misjudged and got the 9.
Indeed he did. The postponed Xfinity race, rescheduled for noon today, finally finished up after a 4.5-hour delay. Chase Briscoe holds off Kyle Busch in a frantic finish. The checkers out just minutes ago. Back to you.
Thank you. Happy NBC Nightly News next.
And we'll see you back here at 7.